Okay guys, so first up is math. We always do math first because it's the hardest, and it was hardest for me when I was growing up. So we just start out with math and get it over with, and then move on to our other subjects after we're through with math. Let me show you this book. This is Math You See, and I want to say real quick that we started out with Saxon, and I really like Saxon, don't get me wrong. They have it set up where, like, when you're the parent or the teacher in the book, in your book, it's like a script almost. Like, you say this and the kid says this back to you, and then you do this. And it's really repetitive. Like, they learn a concept that first day and they practice it, and then the next day they learn a new concept and they practice it, but they practice the one from the day before also, and I really liked that. But my kids did not like it, and it was turning into an hour to do math and lots of tears. And so after a year and a half of just pushing through and trying to do Saxon, we gave up, and I was watching. Okay guys, so first up is math. We always do math first because it's the hardest, and it was hardest for me when I was growing up. So we just start out with math and get it over with, and then move on to our other subjects after we're through with math. Let me show you this book. This is Math You See, and I want to say real quick that we started out with Saxon, and I really like Saxon, don't get me wrong. They have it set up where, like, when you're the parent or the teacher in the book, in your book, it's like a script almost. Like, you say this and the kid says this back to you, and then you do this. And it's really repetitive. Like, they learn a concept that first day and they practice it, and then the next day they learn a new concept and they practice it, but they practice the one from the day before also, and I really liked that. But my kids did not like it, and it was turning into an hour to do math and lots of tears. And so after a year and a half of just pushing through and trying to do Saxon, we gave up. And I was watching this YouTube channel from Erica Arndt, A-R-N-D-T, and it's called Confessions of a Homeschooler. It is the best channel for homeschooling, by the way. She's very organized and concise when she talks to you. She has this beautiful setup for her kids, but she recommended this Math You See and kind of gave me some ideas with it, so that's what we're doing, and let me show you what it looks like. So this is Math You See. This is Delta. It's one of the levels, and Sophia's on Delta. Let me show you the inside. So this is 1A. There's a DVD that you're supposed to watch at the beginning of the week, and then each day the child will do one section of lesson 1. This is 1A. Then the next day 1B. Then the next day 1C. This is what comes with your Math You See kit. It's these blocks, because this is like how they teach math. It looks like this. You've got 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 100 blocks over here. And so the kids they use these 100 blocks. Well, when they get into the hundreds, they can just build on here if they're not in the hundreds yet. But, like, say you're supposed to build 105, so you do, or 106, so you do that kind of thing. It came in the mail when we first got this. My kids played with this thing for like an hour. They loved these blocks. You know, they build with them, they can count them. There's just a million different things you can do. So it's a really cool way to learn that we really enjoy. A quick little note about how we do Math You See. We do the 2 pages a day instead of 1, because when I took them out of public school, they were both kind of behind in math because they just struggle with it, and so we're trying to catch up to where they need to be. And I plan on doing this even once they're caught up, because we can just be that much further ahead in math, and it's the way it's laid out. It's just really simple to do 2 pages a day instead of 1. For English, this is our first time doing anything online. It's called Time for Learning, like it's the number 4. And it was on the list of, Kathy Duffy has a list of 102 of her most recommended homeschool programs that she puts out each year, and it was on that list. And it's all online, and you can actually do more than English. You can do a lot of the different subjects, but we're just going to do English this year and see how it goes, see how it is with being online. That's new to us. And just we had done Abeka before, and Abeka's fine. I mean, it works. I think it's a little bit outdated, but it works if you want to use it. But we're going to try this online thing. Let me show you what it looks like. So I'm on the home page, and I'm going to click on this Lesson Planning and Reports. Then I'm going to do My Saved Plans, and then I'm going to bring up Olivia, and I'm going to choose her English plan. Because, by the way, they have like different subjects, and I'll get all those in just a second, but we're just doing language arts on here. And so for Olivia, it's her English plan, and so we have the week of August 5th, 2018, so I'm going to click on that, and it brings up all of her assignments for this week. It's a little complicated looking at first, but I'm kind of getting used to it. So she has these activities that tells the day that they're due. It checks it off when she's done it. The one thing I don't like is that it only shows the check mark at 1 a.m. I guess the next day. It's kind of like it doesn't update until then, and I wish it would just do it when she's done, but oh well. There's a lot of other things to this website as far as what you can do, but for now that's what I've learned about it, and I hope that this helps you. It's called Time for Learning on the student dashboard. So she signs in, and this is for the week of August 5th. And then she comes over here and it tells her this activity is due on Wednesday, this activity is due on Wednesday, and then this quiz is due on Wednesday. Tomorrow she'll see these. This is assigned for Thursday, this activity, and this activity. There are a lot of different things that you can choose and how to set it up for your child, as far as you can do as many activities a day as you want, as many quizzes and tests as you want a day. I'm still kind of playing with it, to be honest with you, but for now I've just chosen for them to do 2 activities a day and then some days to do a quiz. The quiz is sent to the parent. For spelling, we use Spelling UC, and this is Olivia's book. She's in the level C. Let me show you what it looks like on the inside. It's called chunking, and they make consonant chunks, they make vowel chunks, they have bossy R chunks, and it's just like a colored way of them learning the different sounds. It's kind of a different way of teaching spelling, but they love it. They love the colorfulness of it. And then over here they can practice, their handwriting, and you can dictate to them if you want to, or just have them copy the words. But we're really liking this. So for history, this is our curriculum. We did it last year and this year because it's kind of a thick book, so it's taken us a while to get through it. It's called The Story of the World. You may have heard of it. It is really, really cool. It's not so much like a novel when you're reading it to the kids, but it's not like a textbook either. Let me show you. Really just reading it to your kids, and then you can ask them questions about it, and it goes from ancient times all the way to present day. There's 4 books in all, and so we started like at the beginning of civilization. It's not identified as a Christian book, but I think there are kind of Christian tones to it, if you're wondering, because it talks about the Jews and the Christians and the rise of Christianity. Then there's this workbook that goes with it, and it's helpful. I mean, it's nice to go with it, but there's really it's not hardcore. Let me just say that. Like, if you are looking for lots of questions and work for them to do, it's just more of a little supplement. But the kids like it on days when they are like, those days, like, we don't want to do school, can we just not do it today? They are happy to do history. Like, they will literally say, can we just do history? Let's do history, because they just I think they love me reading to them, and learning that way, and just, it's very, very interesting and kind of not school-like, if that makes sense. And this is our last subject. It's Bible, and we are actually almost finished with this book because we've been using it for the last 2 years, and we're kind of taking our time with it. There are, I think, 3 of these total, and this is more than just a devotional. Honestly, it's more of like a Bible study, and I think it's cool because I want them to have like a Bible class, not just a Bible devotion. And then you can see the theme and things to remember, words that they can learn, a memory verse, and then you have the story that you read them. That's the first day, and then throughout the week you have different reviews and little quizzes you can do with them to make sure that they got it, that they understand it. It's been good. It's from the beginning of the Bible all the way to Revelation, so we're at the end, but we're going to definitely order the second one of these because we like this for Bible. And then finally, speaking of devotions, the girls do come downstairs before we start and do this on their own. And they do, it's this Just Saying, it's for girls, and it's just a little devotion that they do in the mornings. It's real simple, real quick. They read a verse and they answer some questions and maybe do some drawing. So they're liking this so far. It's a 90-day study, Now I'm going to show you Samuel's reading lessons. This is called Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. This was recommended to me by that same nurse that told me I should homeschool, who really gave me the push to do it. And we are really liking this book. I also heard about it on a podcast that I was listening to from a homeschool mom. So it's been recommended by more than one person, and it's really cool. It teaches reading in a different kind of way. Let me show you. They're learning, the different sounds, because in the book they don't call them letters, they call them sounds. Like this is the I sound, it's not I. And I mean, at this point, I think your kid already knows the alphabet, so it's not a matter of, oh, they're never going to learn their letters, but it's more just like if you say the letter I, that doesn't really sound like I, so it's just kind of confusing. So anyways, it's cool. It works for us for teaching Samuel how to read. Let me show you the other part. So this is what he was doing yesterday. And so they read these little passages, and then you ask them questions. And I know it has like the phonetic helpers, like it has the line over the O and everything, and you might worry, well, what if when he starts reading regular books and they don't have those lines, what if he doesn't remember that? Is at the beginning they had like marks all over all the words and different little phonetic helpers, and they're kind of starting to leave those off now that we're at the end of the book or towards the end. So I think that's probably what happens, and he's fine. He doesn't say, well, where's that mark, or why is that letter different? He still remembers it. They just kind of start leaving those off. There's also a writing portion of it, so you can see some of his work here. This was towards the beginning, but it's just kind of like you draw one letter and they trace it, and then they make some letters of their own, and so they're doing reading and writing. And then for Samuel, and the girls can listen too when I read this with him, but this is some devotions for him, but it also combines some science with it, so that's cool. And then Louis Giglio is the one that wrote it, and it's just there's life application stuff, but there's also a good bit of intertwining it with science, and so that's fun for him to read, or for me to read to him. So that's it, guys. That's our homeschool curriculum. That's our setup. That's why we decided to homeschool. Please comment below if you have any questions, or if you want to give any advice on a curriculum that maybe you're using. If you're thinking about homeschooling, I'm all for it. Ask me. You can direct message me any questions also. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video.